Positive Anime Reviews is a review show that is designed for people who aren't very picky about their anime, like me. Most anime I watch ends up in my 5 out of 5 category. My reviews are for those people who are looking for a reason to watch anime rather than hate on it. I am willing to give any and all anime a chance before stating my opinion. Lastly, my reviews are all my opinion and might and or most likely will not match yours. If you don't agree, that's totally fine. Just be respectful in the comment section. Thank you. And as always, possible spoiler warning ahead. Hey guys, Darth Glork here, back with another positive anime review. Today we will be talking about... hang on, let me just scroll down. Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka. So, the Japanese name, of course, will be in the description. Will be the very top of the description. So, I almost butchered that name just because the page I'm looking at, the Japanese name is on top, and I'm like, oh crap, I don't want to pronounce that because I can't pronounce Japanese words very well out loud. Like in my head, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can pronounce that, but like when I'm recording, like all ability to pronounce anything vanishes. So it's kind of weird how that works. Anywho, so today we will of course be talking about Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka. So the name is aggressive. You're like, wow, that is a intimidating name, but don't worry, it's a great anime. So this anime aired, let me just keep scrolling. This anime aired in winter of 2019. So basically this one just finished airing very recently. The very last episode did, I should say. Now, it's one of those anime that I was really looking forward to it. I saw earlier in the winter of 2019 season, I saw a clip on Facebook, I think, of this anime, and it was brutal and really cool, and I was immediately hooked. And then I looked it up. I'm like, all right, what is the deal with this? What is this anime? When can I watch it? How do I find it? And so I looked it up, and then of course I found out the name. I found out that it was only like one episode in or whatever, and so I was like, well crap, now I'm gonna have to wait forever for it to come out. Now I've mentioned this before, but I don't watch any anime that is like going out. I wait till any anime is all the way completed before I watch anything. Because if an anime is good, I hate having to wait until it is all the way finished, or having to wait like once a week being able to watch one episode. Like, that sucks. So I always wait until an anime is fully completed before I get into any of it. Now, this one just finished airing, and it's awesome. Now, the anime the next one I'm watching now that I just started last night, it is also pretty sure that one is also a winter 2019 anime. But it's because there was a lot of good ones in that season, and there's a lot of them, and I'm finally getting to some of the highlights of the stuff that I was looking forward to. So really looking forward to that. Now, to my knowledge, this anime does not have a dub. I think it's too recent. I think it hasn't been out long enough to have a dub, so I don't know if it'll get one or whatever. It might have a dub. I didn't even look, so really I couldn't totally tell you. Anywho, so let's go ahead and get to the synopsis next. Alrighty, so now we can read the synopsis. Of course, the synopsis is a fantastic way to sum up any anime, and it's much better than listening to me ramble. So, here we go. Due to the invasion of Dissus, I think that's how you pronounce that, Dissus, enigmatic, there we go, I can say that, creatures of soil from the land of the dead, mankind who was on the verge of crisis was saved by the efforts of magical girls who had obtained a mysterious magical power. 3 years later, new incidents suddenly occur, tearing apart the normalcy of the girls who had each returned to their normal lives. The saviors of humanity, those magical girls called the Magical Five, now live each day fighting for their lives, even as they are trifled with by fate. There you go. So it's a little bit of a short synopsis, but yeah, that's basically the story. So basically how this starts is 3 years ago, from the start of this anime, 3 years ago there was a giant war where basically all these creatures invaded the world. Now they look at first on the surface like adorable and goofy, but then when you watch them sprout like all these teeth and stuff, they soon become not that adorable. Anyway, and so they launched this giant war. So 3 years ago, there was 11 magical girls total, and they fought in this giant war. As they were each, I think they were in middle school, or I think they were in middle school at the time, so they're really young. And so they fought in this giant war. Well, of the 11, I think so 6 of them die. Yeah. So of the 11, 6 of them die in the final battle against the last boss, the leader of this Dissus monsters. So 6 of them die, and the remaining 5, there obviously 5 survived. So this anime takes place 3 years after that, following, of course, Asuka, and then of course it pieces in with the rest of the magical girls, and you learn who they are, and you learn backstory, and new characters are introduced, and it's a really good anime. It was really, really good. So that's basically the premise, and I really liked how realistic it felt. It felt like, because it follows Asuka, and Asuka has some pretty aggressive PTSD from the war, and so it really follows it. Obviously, she's the main character, and it follows her, and I liked how realistic it felt to be inside of her head a little bit. How as she would go through the whole anime, you could really sympathize, and it felt realistic how the trauma that she was dealing with, and the bad memories, and the deaths of her friends, and trying to adjust to regular life and stuff. All of that, and I loved the realism. The characters felt deep and intricate, and I really loved how realistic it felt there. Now, as far as rating is concerned, this definitely is an R. This is definitely a mature anime for mature. Don't let the Magical Girl title deceive you. This anime is mature. There is a lot of crazy violence. There's a lot of violence, and there is some pretty aggressive violence, including torture and some pretty aggressive torture, and just death, and it's really, really, really aggressive. So if you are not cool with violence or swearing, there is many F words dropped in the middle of the anime. So if that bothers any of you, I would encourage you to not watch it. But if you like anime that's made for mature audiences like I do, then I would of course encourage you to go watch it, because it is really good. Now, as far as genre is concerned, this is definitely like drama, magic, and then of course like magical girl, war, stuff like that, which is pretty much what you would expect. Now, season length, this is a 12-episode anime. The episode length is very normal, 24 minutes, exactly what you would expect. So nothing crazy there. The pacing for the episodes was really good. There's always the obligatory beach episode in most any anime I've ever seen, but I liked this one because this one was realistic. There was actually several things in the anime that they found a good way to explain how they can get away with things, and I really liked it. I won't go into all of them why, but one of the ones that sticks out in my mind is the beach episode. There was a beach. It wasn't even a full beach episode. They were at the beach at one point, but it wasn't just a dumb let's have fun beach episode. It evolved. It was part of the plot. Things happened, and that was good. And I liked that they found a good way to explain that, because sometimes the obligatory beach episode is you're just like, oh, really, again, or whatever. Now, as far as anything after the closing song, there was nothing after closing song. So once that final song hits, you're good to go. You're not missing anything. Once it hits, it's over. That's it. So you're not missing anything afterwards. Now, the characters, there are not too many characters. There are not too many characters. There is a few main characters, but so luckily it's not too daunting of a list. So there will either be individual pictures or arrows pointing to each character, so that way you can know who's who as I describe them. So getting into our first character, she is the main character, because there is several mains, but she is the main one. Obviously her name is Asuka. She is the leader. She is like I think it's like hang on, let me open the picture. Yeah, it's like the pinkish hair, and she is the main character. She has a lot of PTSD from the war, but she is trying to fight off like the cynicism and the PTSD and the trauma from what happened, and she's trying to learn how to settle into regular life, and then there's a lot of growth, because she doesn't want to fight anymore. But the problem is there's a lot of things that life is hard, and there's things that new enemies appear. Life doesn't stop being scary and dangerous just because the main enemy was defeated. There is a lot more going on. There is a lot of dangerous beings in the world, and be it like magical or otherwise. And so Asuka sort of has to learn how to regain her confidence and stuff after everything that happened in the last war. Now, and I liked that. It felt realistic that she did struggle with trying to regain her confidence and learn how to fight and learn how to get back into the fighting groove again. And I liked that it felt realistic on that front. Now, the next main character, and she is another one of the Magical Five, and of course Asuka is one of the five as well. But the next main character, her name is Kurumi. Now, she is the nurse-looking character. Now, each each one of these magical girls has a like a identity that they're known as. Now, each one has it. Asuka is known as Rapture, and Kurumi is known as War Nurse. Now, that's actually one of the other points that they found a way to describe. So, in some anime where there's like a mega transformation, the character might have a different outfit, and then like every other character that meets them in their different outfit has to pretend they don't know who they are. Like, it's like seeing a superhero. It's like if you saw their face and you're like, oh, I totally didn't know that you were, like, as an example, Superman. They're like, what? Clark Kent is Superman? Like, he puts on one pair of glasses and suddenly he's a different guy. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. Well, this anime actually found a way to explain it, that this is why we can get away with this. They found a plot way to describe how they can get away with that, which was so appreciated. I appreciated it a lot, because that was really, it's really dumb in a lot of entertainment that you see that. But this anime found a way to describe that, which was really nice. Anyway, getting back to Kurumi. So she is she's the quiet character. She is obsessed with Asuka, and whether it's a crush thing, I think to me it looked like a crush thing. But regardless, she is obsessed with Asuka. Now, on the surface, she just looks like, she's that one character. She's obsessed with the main character, but there's a lot of qualities that makes her more than that. So she really does care about the Magical Five, and she really does want to be useful. She genuinely is a good person, and she wants to help out and stuff, especially with Asuka and taking care of people and defeating the enemy and all those things. But her backstory actually makes her a way deeper character than you would originally think. Several times throughout the anime, there's some pretty aggressive stuff going on, like they need to like torture someone to get information. Well, Kurumi is actually the one that handles it, and she is incredibly hardcore. I don't know, I mean, I was getting some serious like vibes from the riddle, what is it called? The Mirai Nikki. I was getting some serious vibes from her, but on the surface, she's much more normal. Deeper down, she's much scarier and intense than you would originally believe. And I really liked that. It really made her character more deep and more interesting, and that was appreciated. Now, the next character, they label it as a main character, and I guess I agree, is Mia. Mia Cyrus, I think is how you would pronounce her name. So Mia is the blonde character. She's another one of the Magical Five. Her little title is known as Just Cause, and she's good. She's basically a soldier at heart. Pretty much, she just finds a new war to fight for, a new fight, a new cause. But she is too ultimately a good person. She really does good things. She does care for her friends, and she does try to do the right thing. But she doesn't appear, at least to me, to mind warfare, to mind death and violence and all that stuff. It doesn't seem to bother her. That's just pretty much how she rolls. Now, she's definitely a lesser main character, like a supporting main character, if that's a thing. Anyway, moving on to the next character is Chisato. I think is how you pronounce that. Yeah, would be. Wait, why the heck is that character? That's not it. Forget I said that. So there's more characters here. There was another. Let me see if I can find the characters, because it lists characters here, and that character is not normal. What the heck is up with that? I don't know. That's pretty weird. Okay, so there's more characters than it lists here. I'm kind of dumbfounded right now as to why it lists a random, like, more side character. So the character list here is not very complete. Actually, give me 1 second here. Okay, we are back. So I found a more complete character list. I don't know why that the other side I was using is not complete enough. So we talked about Kurumi, we talked about Asuka, we talked about Mia, of course. The next one, also a member of the Magical Five, is Tamara. She is from Russia, and Mia is from America. Just because I forgot to mention that. Anyway, and so what Mia is doing, going back to her for a second. Mia is after the whole war thing. She is actually fighting a lot in Mexico. She is basically teaming up with the CIA. She's working with the CIA to take down all kinds of things like drug cartels and all kinds of stuff. So that's what she's been up to after the war, essentially. And so I just wanted to mention that. So Tamara, going into the next one, she is another one of the Magical Girl. She is known as Phoenix. She's known as Phoenix. What she's been doing is she serves for the Russian military, and basically has been working with her, essentially. Anyway. And so she does whatever Russia tells her to do. She works for the Russian military. She's also a good person. She's much more like chill on the surface. She's seemingly almost seems to be cold, but once you get a little bit into her personality, it's obvious that she's not actually cold. She cares for her friend. She's part of the whole thing. There is a crazy plot twist at the end for her that I am not going to reveal. You should absolutely watch it. It blew my mind. So that was incredibly fun for me. Anywho, so moving on to the last one, we have another character, but she barely appeared, and so she's definitely a side character. You have, oh man, this is gonna be, I'm gonna crush this name. Pepe, I think is how you pronounce it. I think it'll be, but it says her first name is Lau. What would that be? Lu? I don't know how to pronounce it essentially, but she's another one of the Magical Five, the last one of the five, and yeah, she is the last one that last one of the five. Now, what she's been doing is she works for China, and she is Chinese, but she's actually been working as a mercenary in Thailand. So that's what she's been up to. She's been just destroying stuff, doing whatever, doing her thing. But she doesn't appear until like right at the end. So really surprised that all the art gives it like she's there the whole time, but really she's not. She appears at the end, and they 100% set up for another season. I'm willing to bet that's why, and I'll get into the ending season stuff in a second. But basically, she is aware of what's going on in current events, but she doesn't fight alongside everybody. And because she appeared so little, I can't really tell you anything about her because I don't know anything about her. Now there were a lot of dead magical girls that I'm not going to get into, but the one important one that you should know is Francine. Francine was the former leader of the magical girls when there was 11 of them. She died in the Great War. She was from France. Asuka really took that really hard because from what I could tell, she seemed pretty close to Francine, and so she took that hard, and Asuka had to lead the team in the last battle, and that was a pretty hard burden on her. But anyway, and so she died. It was really intense. Now I don't know anything about her very much because, like I said, she is dead. Anywho, so moving on. So that was basically all the main characters. Now, getting into like the villain side of things, Chisato is one of the villains. She comes in maybe the last half or last quarter of the anime, and she is interesting. She is horribly abused by her crazy father, and her living situation is nuts. But then she's actually saved by some of the other bad guys who give her powers and do things for her and makes her loyal to them. And you learn more about her. I'm not going to get too much into her because learning about the villains is really fun. So another one of the main villains is Abigail. Abigail is a illegal magical girl, just like Chisato is. So they got powers, but they don't not through legal means. So basically, Abigail is one of the henchmen of the main villains who we know very little about. She is there a lot, and she's really intense, and she kills a lot of people. Now there is also a main leader, but we don't really know much about her other than the fact that Abigail calls her my queen, and so we don't know much about her. She's masked the whole anime, and so we never learn about who she really is. Now that's basically all the main ones. There's a lot of other little side characters, but you get the idea. You've seen the main ones, and that's what's important. Now, the characters were really well handled and really well made in the anime, and there was a lot of setup for a season 2. Now, I hope it does well, and I hope a season 2 happens because it is complete enough without it that it's not like it's set up for a lot of things. Like one of the Pepe, one of the Magical Five, she barely even appeared at all, and we barely got to meet her at all, even at the very end. There was a lot of crazy drops, plot twists at the very end for characters that were very that made they need some explaining. So they set up for a season 2. I hope it happens, but obviously this anime just finished coming out, so obviously I have no way of knowing, but I hope that season 2 does happen. Now, going into my favorite characters, is of course Asuka, the main character. I love her, and I actually really like Kurumi and her crazy dark side. I think that's fun, and it's really fun learning about it, so I do encourage you guys to stick around for that. Now, animation and music. This is actually a big one in this one. So I have mentioned this before, that a big big one for me is like, I call it the Kokoro Connect syndrome, where basically it's well animated and really pretty to look at while still being mature and adult. And so, because often you get one or the other. Is it really pretty and like really nice to watch? Well, that's probably because it's targeted towards little kids or whatever, or it's like PG-13 at best. You know what I mean? Or is the color scheme like bleak and like really somber? Oh, well, that's because it's a mature anime or whatever. Well, my favorite of the one where it combines it. I like it to be well animated, well put together. I don't want the color palette to depress me, but also have it be about mature themes. And this anime does that. It 100% nails it. It's really pretty. Their character models are gorgeous. They're so pretty. The backgrounds are awesome. I'm even like late into the anime, I kept like, I would start the next episode and be like, holy crap, this is really pretty. So they definitely nailed that. Definite props to them. Now, as far as the music, the opening song was really cool. It felt very special and unique, but it nailed the feel of the anime, and I really, really like it. So definitely, for at least the first episode, stick around and watch that opening song. It's really good. The closing song was nothing to write home about. It didn't bother me one way or the other, but the opener felt really special. So anyway, but that about wraps it up. So getting into final rating and recommendation, this should come as no surprise, but I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. Very good. This anime made no mistakes worth noting and is definitely worth a buy. Absolutely. It's just, there were so many things good about it. I had a blast. I would love a season 2, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happened, because it felt like these guys had a pretty big budget, because everything was really pretty and gorgeous to look at. The voice acting was flawless, and it was awesome. So it wouldn't surprise me if another one happened. They set up for one. I would love another one, and it was really, really good. So as far as the recommendation, if you are into mature anime that are still pretty to look at, I recommend it. If violence doesn't bother you, or if you like violence like I do, I recommend it. If you don't like those things, I would definitely recommend passing on it, because it is really, really intense. Anywho, so that is going to wrap it up for this one. So as far as anything else coming out today, right after this, I'm going to record part 8. What is that, part 8? Part 8 of our Bounty Hunter playthrough on Star Wars The Old Republic. It would not surprise me if we finish that game today. If we finish that class story today, it would not surprise me, because we are within striking distance, possibly, and or hopefully. So we will have to see what happens with that. Now, I think that's it. So tomorrow I might have some obligations going on, and it might get in the way of my recording. So I'm hopeful that there will be something going up tomorrow, and I will try my hardest to get something out. I don't know, the recording might be like later than I would like or whatever. There might be some, like the timing might be weird, but I'm going to try to get everything out like normal. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.
Hey guys, it is Darth Bullwinkle here.
You want to know what I know? Two wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights make a left. That's what I know. Oh man, I can use the Force. I'm a Jedi, Mom. You like landed on my face, and not in a fun way. No, I'm kidding. The drawbridge is the least of our concerns at this particular moment. Oh wow, they actually are violent. What a nice change of scenery. It's easier to do something about the flat guns when I'm not being chased by every German fighter in freaking Germany! Something large has my number, and he's calling me for a date. I'm not interested. Aw. Thanks, creepy computer mom. Andronicus, you're in my dream too. Let's be honest though, you're always in my dreams. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.